guys, and welcome to V.B.T Talks. I have a guest with me today. He is a YouTuber, animal sanctuary owner, software engineer, and entrepreneur. He uses his business success to find his 501c3 nonprofit animal sanctuary in Central Florida. He also a bodybuilder and loves self-improvement. His mission is to help people and animals however he can. Welcome to the show, Alex, also known as YaBonks. Hey, how are you today?
Hi, Avrora. I am doing very well, and thank you so much for bringing me on your show. I've listened to a lot of your podcasts so far, and I love the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I am so excited to talk to you too, because I absolutely love your story. And I think a lot of our listeners can benefit from that and get inspired. But I did
Awesome.
wanted to jump into the questions that I get ready for you. But before that,
Sure.
just a one quick note. Tell us a little bit more. Where are you? What do you do for a living? And why you become plant-based?
All right. That's a big question there. So I guess I'll start with I live in Central Florida in the United States
Mm-hmm.
where I run a 501c3 nonprofit charity, animal sanctuary and animal rescue, and I have about 30 rescued animals here and help facilitate animal rescues in the southeastern United States. It's a lot of work, and uh, it's not cheap to run and fund an animal sanctuary. So I started a YouTube channel a few years ago as a side hustle, and it took off in the finance and crypto space. And 2+ years later now, and I am a full time YouTuber. And
That's
previously,
so
before
cool.
that, I was a software engineer. So I was going from writing code in a cubicle to now I'm a YouTuber. I make content like this actually, and it's been a wild ride to say the least. And I feel so blessed and thankful that I'm able to now fund the entire animal sanctuary from my YouTube channel, and it's just growing like crazy. And I hope that the success keeps growing so I can continue scaling the animal rescue efforts and growing my animal sanctuary.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And thank you for doing that. So many animals in this planet need more love. So you doing such a great job. And I wanted to
Thank
go a
you.
little deeper. How long are you vegan and why you become vegan?
So that's a good question. I've been vegan now for about 10 years, and I went vegan after seeing the movie Earthlings. I'm sure
Hmm.
you've seen it. And it shows what goes on in animal industries like animal agriculture, research laboratories, the fashion industry, and entertainment industries. And it really affected me. And I just decided at that point I would never partake in that again to the best of my ability, as long as I am conscious and aware of it. So for me, it was an overnight change, and 10 years later, I still feel the same way. And now I am trying to do some extra um, work towards saving the animals that are abused and neglected and suffering that I can personally help and give them lives full of love, compassion, health, and happiness for the rest of their natural lives. And, I only got so much time here on Earth, so just try to do as much of that as I can.
Yeah, of course. So when you get vegan, like you did it cold turkey one night, you take out the meat and dairy one day.
Yes.
Crazy.
Now, I wasn't fully educated at that time, so I wasn't aware of all the foods like cookies and stuff that I'm a sucker for cookies. And I
Mhm.
didn't know that every cookie out there almost, except things have gotten better these days, but they almost all have dairy and eggs in them. So for about 1 month, as I like made that transition, I started educating myself on nutrition and food, and actually looking at ingredient labels. So for like the first month, I wasn't eating meat or eggs or anything like that, but I was
Mhm.
still eating like processed foods that I didn't realize contained these items until I started reading the ingredient labels on everything I was eating. And so that month there of education, I cut out the processed foods like that as well.
Wow. Yeah. Poor
Yeah.
you. I feel you, man. Yeah. So many
Yeah.
people on the same page. Everyone who listens, please read the labels. Either you're vegan or not, just see what you put in your body. Nowadays, if you buy
Yes.
packaged food, you may be surprised how much stuff in there that you don't need. So that's why, of course, we always wanted to eat more unpackaged, a real, raw, or whole plant-based foods, of course. But if you
Yeah.
want to have some fun with food, I always say just read the label. Know what you sign for, right? Just to
I
make sure.
totally agree. And it's like some of those ingredients are like a second language to me. I
Yeah.
can't understand the words. And I have an engineering degree. I have to look them up and research them still to this day to figure out what am I eating? What is this weird
Yeah.
emulsifier or preservative or whatever? Like, should I
Yeah.
eat that? I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah. I want to make you feel better because
Yeah.
I'm a nutritionist and I still Google those words sometimes because
You
you don't
have
know,
to.
but so much new stuff coming up all the time. So I just say, as a side note, I just always say if you don't know what is that, probably don't eat that. Like if you don't know those ingredients, don't really risk and eat that. It's really dangerous for you, maybe. So yeah, stay away.
And I agree. And I just want to say, Aurora, your story is incredible too. And I
Thank
find
you.
it super impressive that did have you always spoke English? Or did
No,
you learn
no,
English when
no.
you moved here?
Yeah, I didn't know English. 8 years ago, I moved to America with like knowing two words, hi and bye.
No way. That's incredible. So imagine that. I can't even fathom what you went through coming from the Ukraine to the United States and having to learn this whole language on top of studying nutrition and fitness and
Yeah,
bodybuilding and then learning all those super specialized technical terms in the nutrition industry for all these crazy ingredients. So I'm super impressed by that you were able to
thank
do
you.
that and do it so well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, but I'll be honest, it's always a process, and I can talk about nutrition with you in English really well, but talk with me about, I don't know, like some legal government stuff, I would be stuck a lot by like not knowing some words, right? So I'm really educated
Yeah.
on specific topics that I talk about, of course. I do have to study English more and more and more if we're talking about, like, let's say, I just remember when I had some problem and I have to like deal with a lawyer. I was surprised how much I don't know, even though I finished university in English, right? And I'm
Yeah.
studying English so long. I'm like, wow. So it's always, space for improvement all the time. But thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
It's the truth.
So I just gonna also say for everyone who are only listening us and not watching the YouTube, you guys go ahead and turn on the YouTube channel and look at you because you look amazing. You look
Thank
so
you.
fit and muscular. So yes, amazing. Yeah, those arms look great. So
For those listening, I just threw up the front double bicep pose for
okay.
her.
Yeah, so you look pumped.
Thank
And
you so much. That
yeah,
means a lot. I've worked really
absolutely
hard.
true. Yeah, and the reason I mentioned that too, because you are absolutely plant-based for now. So my question is for you, what are the most effective strategies you use as a plant-based to grow your muscles and optimize your macronutrients for performance without relying on supplementation? Because as I know, you don't really use a lot of supplements, do you?
Uh, it depends. I cycle through different supplements. So I like to do medicinal mushrooms like lion's mane for my memory, different things like chaga and reishi and
That's
adaptogens.
amazing. Yeah, that's so
Mhm.
good.
And also things like N-acetylcysteine and glycine for longevity and antioxidant production of glutathione, increasing your innate production of those things to help detox and essentially, de-age yourself according to some of the latest research. So I actually love supplementation. However, I do it very, very precisely. I do a lot of research. I read as many studies and like research articles that I can through like ncbi.pubmed.gov, through the different
Mm-hmm.
research study databases, and I try to learn as much as I can to utilize those things as what they are, a supplement. They're not the main thing. The main thing is workout and stimulus, diet and rest, recovery.
Yeah,
Those are the three
absolutely.
things: diet, workout, recovery. And anything else is just supplementation that gives you marginal benefits on top of that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I
So
feel
what
about
would you
how I feel
say?
about supplements. Because I take like creatine monohydrate. I take HMB, which is another popular bodybuilding supplement, very similar to creatine, and been used for decades and decades, and is like super safe if you're using it in normal dosages and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Beta alanine I take as a pre-workout, and that increases the amount of carnosine produced in your muscles innately. And that gives you an extra pump while you're working out and gives you the little tingly feelings. It's in all the pre-workout supplements. So I actually do love supplementation, but I don't take them blindly. I really research each one specifically to get the best bang for my buck and make sure that I am practicing the um, best efforts to protect and enhance my health.
Yeah. But what if you don't have any supplements, right? So what would you kind of like go in deep, maybe find out by switching to plant-based? What was maybe those major things that help you to build muscles when we look in
Sure.
a nutrition and maybe in your workout split?
Sure. And for the record, I was taking supplements like that even before I went vegan. So I've always been a pharmacology uh, enthusiast. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always been something I've been interested in. But for for bodybuilding as a plant-based um, athlete, it's very similar to bodybuilding as a non-plant-based athlete. Really, it's the same exact principles. And one thing I noticed as a plant-based athlete that focuses on a lot of whole foods, I get a lot more micronutrients in my diet than I otherwise did, because plant-based foods are so micronutrient dense. So you're flooded
Mm-hmm.
with all those micronutrients, phytochemicals, which also are kind of like medicinal supplements from Mother Nature and God. They're beautiful, really. And then on top of that, I get full from less food, feel more satiated. And sometimes during my bulking phases, like I'm on a bulking phase right now, I'm trying to put on muscle, uh, and I have to eat like 500 plus calories above my basal metabolic rate every day to keep gaining and keep myself as anabolic as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes at the end of the day, I'm so full and I don't want to keep chewing and eating that I will either sometimes just like drink a protein shake or eat a couple cookies to get my calories where I need to be and my macronutrients
Yeah.
where I need to be. So I mean, it's the exact same as if I was an omnivore, if you will. And it's just like the workout the same to stimulate muscle growth. However you decide to do that, there are multiple schools of thought there. And then diet, so calories and macronutrients, and then rest and recovery. And then all the other stuff, like all the additional micronutrients, I think those just aid in the longevity and overall health of the person, including the decrease in atherosclerosis and plaque buildup in the arteries, based on, you've probably read the China study and how to prevent and reverse heart disease by Dr. Esselstyn. Um, those things I also think are an additional benefit towards me doing this for a lot longer than maybe I otherwise would have been able to do. So I hope that answers your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. It was really nice. And I will link that study down there, guys, for anyone who didn't read it or didn't know. But obviously, nowadays, you can just research and look up so many examples of plant-based people who are improve or even reverse a lot of heart disease, diabetes, overweight problem with plant-based diet. On the
Yes.
top of, you can find a lot of research on athletes that shows that plant-based gains are pretty much similar to a standard American diet plant like gains, if you could say.
Yes. Yes. And
And
the game, it's the same way. Just make sure you're getting the complete spectrum of
mhm,
essential amino acids. So if don't just eat legumes, also eat grains, right? If you eat those two, you're good on protein. Like you're not going to
yeah.
be lacking as long as you hit your macros and you get that spread of amino acids
Yeah,
for a
it's so interesting you
complete
mentioned
protein.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned that, and then it was actually my second question because I'm trying to be like a bad advocate here and giving like those like things that usually people ask, about plant-based athletes and diets. And then my next question was actually about complete and incomplete protein sources.
I
So
read your
when
mind.
yeah. And as you know, a lot of the time, plant-based proteins are considered are incomplete. So I want to ask your opinion, how can vegans create well-rounded amino acid balance meals for muscle growth?
Sure. Uh, First, like I said, mix your grains with legumes. If you eat beans and rice or beans and buckwheat or whatever your favorite legume is, and that's, beans, lentils, other pulses, things like that. And then grains, you got wheat, rice, buckwheat, amaranth, all that stuff. If you mix
Mm-hmm.
those two classes of foods together, you get a complete protein and you get the methionine and I forget the other one, but you get them in a very optimal amino acid um, ratio for muscle growth and health. And then also, if you're looking for more protein dense, specific, complete protein foods that are plant based, there are some really great options out there. Certain legumes actually are complete proteins in themselves, like soybeans. And so that includes tofu and tempeh. And in my opinion, I think tempeh is the best option out of all those three, although I eat tofu basically every day in some form, in like a breakfast burrito or in something. It's in there and it's a complete protein too and very protein dense. And
Yeah.
there are also things like vital wheat gluten based products like seitan, and those are also super high protein dense foods. And just find out what works for you the best and what fits your lifestyle, because I don't like cooking really. I'm like a barbarian. I'm a very basic kind of guy. So I will just take like a bag of frozen peas and just eat that with a spoon plain. And then I'll do the same. Like I'll just take a bowl of rice and eat that later. And as long as you don't have to eat them in the exact same meal either, you can eat them spread throughout the day. Like if you have that grain earlier and like the beans later at a different meal, that's totally fine. Your body's very intelligent and can utilize those resources effectively in that spread of time, no problem.
Yeah, I'm so happy you made that example because a lot of the time people are too overthink and they think that the plant-based diet are super complicated. So thank you. Yeah, so you can totally do it like this. It's totally fine. I like to cook, but when I just start my plant-based journey, it wasn't like that. And I was eating just the same way that you described, super simple. And that's okay too. So thank you so
Yes.
much for saying that.
Yeah.
Have you, on a side note, for beans and legumes, have you ever felt any digestive struggle, bloating, gas when you start eating plant-based? Because that's a lot of experience with people when they switch to the plant-based diets. Have you felt that? And if you did, how you deal with that?
So one time I ate like 2 pounds of frozen corn in one sitting. And apparently corn has indigestible fiber of some kind that can like you're not supposed to do that. Don't eat that much corn all at once. I learned that the hard way. I was in pain for like a day. I'm just like, what have I done? Am I going to die? And I survived, thankfully. But I can eat 2 pounds of frozen peas, no problem. And actually my digestion and overall like digestive system is way better at this point, way healthier. And things like chia seeds, for instance, with that like mucosal membrane that it has, actually like detoxes your insides as it passes through. And also a lot of these fibers that are insoluble and indigestible are actually prebiotic. So they act as the substrate for the gut bacteria, the gut biome and flora to basically feed on. So your gut bacteria will eat the prebiotic substances like insoluble plant fibers, and you will get a healthier gut biome, which they say is the second brain of the body because of how complex the bacterial ecosystem is there, and how
Yeah.
much it affects your hormones and other mechanisms holistically throughout your body. So if you have a healthy gut biome, which needs prebiotic fiber, you have to have indigestible fiber. You might think, oh, it's just empty, volume I'm eating, but it's not. It's food for the bacteria, which is what comprises the majority of your physical essence. So I know that was
Exactly.
kind of a long, crazy spiel there, but I hope that made sense.
No, it is. And I am so happy you share that. As a nutritionist, I cannot believe that you are doing the crypto with all this knowledge about nutrition.
Thank
Like,
you.
you're so smart, man. Like, I'm shocked. I'm
Oh,
shocked. So I
thanks.
can totally say that you know what you're doing, and that's great. That's why you are here on my show. But like by like saying that, I'm just shocked. Like, how you know all of that? Doing totally different stuff, right? It's so
I
cool.
I
You can
read
open like
I read a lot.
you can open a
Yeah.
plant-based channel, I am sure.
I would really love that because this is one of my biggest passions in life is nutrition, diet, food, and human biology. And it's really a beautiful symphony of
Yeah,
so many different aspects of life. And when you have everything dialed in, it really plays a beautiful song.
absolutely. Yeah. And then your gut is your everything, guys. It's
Yeah.
connected to even your mood. So whatever is going on with your gut, if it doesn't feel well, you cannot function properly. And then unfortunately, just being a doctor, I could say that 80, maybe 85% of Americans have messed up gut and they don't even know that they feel bad. That's the problem. You may know that you may experience some symptoms and you think that you're tired because you are tired all the time. But then when you fix your gut, when you add more fiber, switch to the plant-based diet, you can feel so much better that you will be surprised. So my next question
Yeah.
to you, as you switched, right, completely plant-based, like after you stopped those cookies, right, that you mentioned.
I still
Like,
eat them from time to time, but I
it's
always keep my
okay.
whole foods at
Yeah.
least 75% of my diet,
No, no,
especially
it's okay.
when I'm bulking. I sometimes do a few percent of my calories as cheat foods, which would be like
Well,
a few
I mean,
cookies here there to
I
get
mean, like a
500
dairy,
calories.
like cookies with
Oh,
dairy. I
no.
mean,
No,
yeah,
I don't even mess with that because
yeah.
during that 1 month transition period where I was learning about these things, I noticed as the dairy left my system, my overall inflammation went way, way down. So I used to get like a scratch on my arm or something, just barely touch my arm, and it would get a large, swollen, raised red line. And
Wow.
I thought that was normal. As soon as I cut out the dairy, that stopped happening. It doesn't happen anymore. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, have I been like slightly allergic to dairy my whole life? And I've just been ingesting so much of it every day for 25 years. It's
Yeah,
crazy. So
crazy.
that's one thing I noticed when I cut out some foods that I yeah, and you don't know until you try it.
Yeah, of course. How is your performance? How is your workouts, recovery? Anything else you felt become like different?
Fantastic question. My recovery went way up. And same with my endurance. So I'm a long distance runner. I love running distance, even though sometimes it contradicts some of my bodybuilding efforts. Like, if you do a hard run too close to leg day, you're probably going to lose a little bit of gains that week. But I make those sacrifices because I love running and I love what it does for my cardiovascular system, yada, yada, yada. It feels good. I love the runner's high, right? So I noticed when I first went plant-based that my recovery from running was a lot quicker. I wasn't as sore. I was able to bounce back faster, and my endurance went up noticeably in just a couple weeks. Like, I don't know if it was like my blood flowing smoother or something, but I was able to run, and I've always been a great long distance runner, and I noticed like an increase in performance almost immediately. And that's
Mhm.
really like stuck out in my head. Like, obviously, my soul was affected seeing animal abuse, right? And that's a change that I can't undo that. I can't go back after that. But also, I got the nice benefit that I'm like, wow, I'm a better runner now. I'm recovering faster. So hey, that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I always say to my clients, like do it for your health, and then eventually you will feel good that you're not killing an animals too. So you don't really want to get back. Because if you
yes,
start only with animals, like if you are going vegan completely like you and I did for animals, that's so much harder for a lot of people
it is.
because they don't like feel the same kind of connection between animals and your soul. It's not easy for everyone, but
No.
if you do it for your health and then you feel different and that's came as a benefit to still saving the planet and not be able to kill, wow, that's just such a huge change, right? And you're so much
Yeah.
happier in the end of the day.
I agree, and that's why I love what you're doing. You're setting a great example as a role model for what people who are interested in a plant-based diet and fitness can achieve.
Yeah.
You are a great example of that, and I love your content on Instagram, on YouTube, and everything. And it's just really great seeing role models in uh, the online community, basically showing people, hey, you can do this and you can thrive too. I love that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I feel same to you. Like that's why I said that you need to talk about your plant-based lifestyle more because that's also inspiring. You're talking about crypto, which is crazy cool too. And then
Thanks.
actually, let's go a little bit deeper in there. So how you be
Sure.
able to switch to like before you switch to fully YouTubing, right? How you
Mhm.
fell in love with cryptocurrency and the like where even an idea about your YouTube channel came to your mind?
That's a loaded question. So I guess a couple of years, well, back in probably 2015 or 2016, I was working as a software engineer, writing code in a cubicle for long hours, just like, what am I doing with my life? And I'm like, I want to get out of the rat race faster. I want to live life how I want to live life. How am I going to do that? Well, I have to make a lot of money, right? And I'm sure a lot of people think of that. So I'm like, I'm going to learn how to trade stocks, how to trade options. I'm gonna be a day trader. I'm gonna be a crypto trader. I lost a lot of money early on. All right, so be careful, anybody listening, if you explore these things. It's very good to learn financial education in general and investing and stuff, but also beware of get rich quick schemes, scammers, things like that. Always be vigilant and never go all in on anything. Diversify everything. All right, diversify
Mhm.
so you protect yourself. And so I learned all these hard lessons, trading and stuff. And in like 2015, 2016, I used my software engineering skills to develop crypto trading bots. So I wrote code to make bots that auto traded for me based on different technical analysis indicators and stuff. And they did okay, but at the same time, it wasn't any better than me trading. So kind of forgot about it for a little bit, but I still love crypto and Bitcoin and all these things that I learned about then. And a couple of years later, just a few years ago, I started getting back into it big time at the last bull run when people were turning into millionaires overnight during the last crypto bull run,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was wild. And I'm like, oh, if I would have just bought crypto back then and just held on to it and forgot about it for 4 years, I'd be retired right now. Instead,
Yeah,
I did all that
everyone
crazy
say that.
trading and
Yeah, everyone was
yeah,
hoping. Yeah.
everybody. So I that's how I kind of stumbled into decentralized finance with like Ethereum and EVM based blockchains and smart contracts and all this crazy stuff. And people were touting like insane returns every day. I jumped into this kind of degenerate crypto space, if you will, and that's why you'll see on my YouTube channel I'm a Web3 degen, right? And because I love high risk stuff, I always have. I've always been a risk taker. You know, if that's just my personality, I'm very impulsive. So I was very attracted to this and lost a bunch of money, but well, I've had some wins too. So kind of canceled out. I learned a ton, and in doing so, I was in all these different crypto projects, and some of them were doing AMAs or interviews like we're doing now about their crypto project that they're building. And nobody was posting these on YouTube. So I couldn't go back and watch these later. And I wanted to know what these people were talking about because I've
Mhm.
invested in this or that project, right? So I had like my YouTube channel from long ago. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to I'm going to record these things, just start uploading them. So I started recording other people having conversations like this on Discord and Telegram and Twitter and stuff. And then I started uploading them to my YouTube channel. And I started getting all these people following me and saying, thanks for making this information available for me to watch later after I got off work or whatever. And then all
Mm.
of a sudden, some of these companies and projects asked, hey, we love your channel. Would you be interested in interviewing us? Because you seem knowledgeable about this, because I'm in all the chat rooms, I'm helping people out, trying to educate people where I can. And I'm like, sure. So I started interviewing these like DeFi and crypto entrepreneurs. And I learned a lot of crazy lessons because it is kind of there are some scams out there and stuff. And I had to learn how to navigate that and find like real people building real companies and stuff. So that was a whole process to, that was an education right there and crypto
Mhm.
street smarts, if you will. And I took that very seriously, and people really seemed to respect that. And I gained a reputation for doing a lot of due diligence about the people that I brought onto my YouTube channel to interview them about whatever project or company that they are starting or working on. And yeah, just kind of just took off. And I've always been slammed with business for like sponsored interviews and ask me anything AMAs on my channel and my Discord community that you're a part of. You're in there now. I saw you join. Thank you for joining. We were almost at 1,000 members and people in there just talk and share ideas. It's really cool. I share my like bodybuilding pictures in there and stuff. And yeah, it just kind of took off. My YouTube channel is almost to 6,000 subscribers, and my Twitter is going crazy. It's been a wild ride. This past 2 years has been a roller coaster for me, and I have leveraged it fully. So I was able to monetize and leverage it to quit my software engineering consulting business that I was doing. And um, I'm able to now support the entire animal sanctuary with the YouTube channel and this whole business. And it's only getting bigger now. So I don't know, it's just been a crazy ride. And that's
Wow.
kind of the story there about how that all happened.
That's amazing and so much inspiring for
Thank you.
anyone out there. You can do what you love. And guys, like I was just gonna clarify, like you doing crypto, but you are not a millionaire and you never was.
Right.
You start that business from basically zero, and
Yep.
then you be able to now support yourself, support your family, support your animal sanctuary, and do what you love. So you're just a
Yeah.
great example of someone out there who are thinking that, oh, I want to do that, but I don't have money. Oh, I wish I can do that, but it's not stable. How can I be able to do that? You
Yeah.
can. Yes, you can. For anyone who listen out there, because I do have my story. It's almost kind of same, which is doesn't have anything to do with crypto, but I'm just saying that starting from zero and then just pursuing your dream and passionately do what you love, and that's gonna eventually bring you success. trust
I I
trust
love
us.
that.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
for
And
sure.
I want to just echo that. Entrepreneurship is such an amazing thing. The ability to pick oneself up from their own bootstraps and start a business that can support them and whatever they're passionate about in life, like an animal sanctuary. And it's so amazing. And I think a lot of people, like, crypto and finance stuff aside, that's just what I was interested in, right? But entrepreneurship and self improvement is at the core of everything I'm doing. And so is helping people and animals, as you mentioned earlier. That's like I'm helping people as best I can with education and networking, socializing, being positive, being like nice and friendly to people that maybe a lot of people out here just need a friend, right? And you can do that when you're online, you have a presence and you have a reach out there, you can really touch a lot of lives. And then on top of that, you can, whatever your mission is in life, if you want to save, kids, animals, if you want to spread your faith, whatever it is in life, you want to support your family, you can do that with a business. And I started my business with a $10 ring light and a $200 like Android phone, and that's
Yeah,
how I started my YouTube channel.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Feel you, man. The same for me. I started with zero English and
That's so amazing. You're
an old YouTube
incredible.
phone. And then
I
you can figure it out step by step, right? So no one is
if
perfect. We are not perfect, but we are striving to do what we love.
if you can if you can start a thriving business and you didn't know more than two English words just a few years ago, I mean, that just says it all. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. You're such a
Yeah.
great example.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you are inspiring too. So thank you for that. And
Thank you.
we're gonna just see you grow more and more, I'm sure. And I feel like I want to talk to you forever. Like it's
We
conversation.
can, if you
Yeah.
want, we can split this into multiple parts. If you want to do like
Yeah.
part two on YouTube or something, we could
Yeah,
do
we
that.
could do that too, but I just know that I wanted to finish this part for sure. Maybe
Sure.
we'll meet again. Um,
Yes.
but before I let you go, I have one more question for you before.
Sure.
Uh, it's like about the challenges because like living a plant-based lifestyle and just switching to plant-based is not easy. So what was the hardest challenges that you faced and how did you overcome those?
Wow, that's a really great question. I guess social situations was the hardest for me to navigate because my friends, my family, basically everybody I know thought it was weird. And I had to go through a lot of awkward situations. And fortunately for me, I have always been a black sheep of my family and just kind of out there doing my own thing. So for me, going my own way, I kind of have thick skin. So if somebody says, "Oh, what are you doing? That's weird," I'm just like, "Hey, cool, thanks, man." Like I don't really care, but I know for a lot of people that can really affect them. And it made going to parties tricky or going out to restaurants with friends and family. I had to figure all that stuff out. Like, can I actually eat anything here? And if not, am I just gonna order like a tea or a coffee and just pick, I'm not hungry. I just ate. Thanks though. I'll just have a drink and just play it cool. Um, and that's basically I learned how to navigate those situations while keeping my friendships intact, my social life intact, and not really just burning all my bridges. Because I know some people who have gone like vegan, some of them can be very argumentative, especially with their own friends and family who they don't understand, they might not understand. And I think there are communication methods, especially in those delicate situations with people you really care about, that it might, there are tactful ways to navigate that you can just be like a good uh influence and positive person still and not really make anybody else uncomfortable or anything like that. So figuring all that out was very tricky. The human psychology of fitting into a society that is traditionally an omnivorous society while being a plant-based eater for a myriad of reasons, that was the hardest part for me.
Yeah, I absolutely feel you, man. So what do you think helped you in order to figure it out? Maybe you can give an example for anyone out there or some advice.
Sure. And I want to state that there's not a one shoe fits all approach here. What works for me might not work for someone else.
Yeah.
And what I personally prefer might not be what somebody else prefers. If somebody loves to go out there and just like argue back and forth and debate people on this all day, good for them. Go for it. That's totally cool with me. For me, I just kind of go with the flow. I'm doing my own thing. I'm building my business. I'm out here taking care of rescued animals, and I'm working out. I'm bodybuilding. I'm improving myself, and then when I'm interacting with other people, I want to I want to be as friendly and nice and positive as possible. So I usually don't even bring it up unless they directly ask me. So like
Yeah.
you asked me on this show, when did you go vegan? So obviously I'm going to tell you the truth and I'm going to answer you. But if somebody doesn't ask me that, I just don't bring it up. And then
Hmm.
maybe after a couple weeks or months of knowing me, they'll realize, hey, you I don't think I've ever seen you eat meat before. What's that about? And I'll be like, oh yeah, no, I
Hmm.
don't eat meat. And then they're gonna start thinking like, what? And you can kind of,
Yeah.
people kind of get their minds blown at that point, and you plant seeds very subtly in those ways that there are other ways of living out here that can be just as cool, just as fun, and just as productive as any other way of living. And then on top of it, you get all those other myriad benefits with, the maybe the animal ethics and the environment and health and all these other things. And so I don't even jump into those topics with people unless they ask me. And at which point, when they do ask me, because they've noticed something about me, then they're actually interested and they want to learn. And when they want to learn is when change is actually possible.
That's such a good point. Yes. You just can be an example. If anyone wanted to know what you do, that's going to be much more, interesting for them. And they're going to listen to your points and they will want to try what you do because you actually taking them attention, not because you're a freak vegan, but because you are actually just look great and then, look healthy. And then they're like, I want to do that. Oh, wow, he's vegan. And then now they start to feel like they are freaks because they eat meat.
And
I
you know
honestly
what?
think,
I love being a freak. I love being weird. I love being a freak, and
I
we can all
know,
be
me
weird freaks
too.
together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Humans are weird, right?
Yeah, we all
Humans
weird.
are we're
Yeah.
all so weird, and I think you know somebody will be more interested in doing what you do if you're cool and fun and make them feel good. Like if they want
Yeah.
to hang around you, they'll be like, yeah, maybe I'll try that. Sure, why not? And you're like, yeah, cool, man. Hey, you
Mhm.
you planted a seed that maybe in a few weeks it'll grow into a tree.
Absolutely, yes. And it's such a like good point too, because being an influencer also require a lot of attention of what do you like spread and what those seeds that you are like placing out there. Because a
Yeah.
lot of the time, again, because of a lot of other people who are gets like scary by like hearing, oh, you're vegan, it's just mean you're gonna start to like convincing me right now, you're gonna
Yes.
start like making me feel bad because I killing animals. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like,
Right.
I've been in that
Yeah.
situation so many times when I'm somewhere and then someone is know that I'm vegan and then someone else start eating meat and then they like, oh shoot, sorry, I eat meat in front of you. And I'm like, what? Like, you can eat meat
Yeah.
in front of me, I am okay with that. So it's just also because like some of the influence unfortunately do that, like like a not a great example. So I totally agree with you. I think has to be this way, because only this way are really possible to change the world with love, with compassion,
Mm,
right? Everything with love.
yeah.
How you can, I don't even know how you can be animal lover and then hate people for eating meat, right? It just doesn't make sense. Like,
Especially
what?
like somebody like me. I ate meat and animal products for like 25 years of my life, and only the past 10 years have I learned a different way that I really enjoy. I feel good inside and out. And it brings me a lot of peace of mind. And
Yeah,
it works great for me. And I'm not going to judge somebody else if they aren't there, right? Because we're all
absolutely.
different. We're all on different paths here. And if we had this conversation 15 years ago, I would have been like, "What are you talking about? What?" Like, it would be
Yeah,
so different. So I always look at other people just like they're just like me at some other point in
yeah,
time or reality. I, you know, I'm not ever gonna say I'm perfect. I'm so far from it. And I just, like you said, want to just kind of work on generating love and positivity and putting that out there into the universe because it feels good for me. I know it's good for other people too, especially more so than me going out and trying to attack people or say mean things or troll people and stuff like that. And some people have fun doing that, and some people are even effective at doing that. But that's not my style at all. I know me, and I know what I like, and I know what I'm good at. And I'm gonna just stick with that, and just hopefully keep having the success I've had.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. You are
Yeah,
amazing soul, amazing
thank
inspiration, a
you.
great athlete, and absolutely a great talker. I'm so glad to have you here. But we need to wrap it up. And before I let
Sure.
you go, I wanted people to know how to find you. So please tell what's the best way to follow your journey, to know more about cryptocurrency, about your animal sanctuary. Tell us how to find you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on most of the major social media platforms. Obviously, my main thing is I'm a YouTuber. So on YouTube, I am YaBonks, YaBonks. And just I am, youtube.com/YaBonks. I'm also on Twitter at YaBonks Official. I'm on Instagram at YaBonks. And I'm also on Discord. I have a thriving Discord community, and it's discord.gg/YaBonks. Join us there. We've got a super awesome community of really generous people. So many people in the crypto community there support my animal sanctuary. They're so generous and they donate for the animals, and it's really a wonderful, positive place with really great people. And it's really cool kind of seeing that world and like my fitness and plant-based bodybuilding world kind of commingling, and the whole animal rescue world as well. It's a really fun experience. So you can find me at all those places.
Amazing. Yes. And I will all those links in the description down below. So easy can find you and join your all the social media. So I think you're doing an amazing job. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for posting. And then your YouTube is so cool. So thank you so
Thanks.
much for today talk. If you wanted to say anything before you go, or maybe I forgot to ask you something, please do so.
Okay. I just want to say thank you, Avrora. I think you're awesome. I love your show. You're so good at this. And I love seeing your YouTube channel growing, and your podcast growing on Spotify and Apple and all that. So I kind of want to ask you now, for anybody listening, in case I end up sharing this with my community, where can people find you?
Oh my God, no one has asked me that on my show, but thank you. You're so generous. Yeah,
So are
I
you.
slowly started my YouTube like a small baby steps because it's just so hard, as you know, be able to manage so many things. And my online business is my main thing. So mainly I help people switch to the plant-based diet and achieve their best physiques. So that's taken a lot of my time. So I am on Instagram, which is Avrora Vegan Fit, AVRORA Vegan Fit. And I have a YouTube channel, and I am promising to post more. I'm trying to post every week, at least a whole video. Either it's this
Yeah.
recipe, or sometimes it's traveling on a plant-based diet, or some fitness workouts. So yeah, it's Avrora Vegan Fit as well. And I also have a Facebook as well, Avrora Vegan Fit. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to,
Awesome.
yeah, to have your people in my corner as well, because I love crypto. I love cryptocurrency, and I just wish I have more time to have more knowledge about that. So I hope I can get there more with your help.
It's a fun space. Just be super careful and everything, and make wise decisions and all that. And you can always ask me for my opinion or help on anything. I am always available. I do my best to always be available to anybody. So Avrora, my DMs are always open to you, and anybody else listening, shoot me a message. I would love to talk with anybody about this stuff, and especially about plant-based fitness. So I'm sure we're going to be talking a whole lot more. Also, you already have a couple fans in my Discord community that I told about this show, and they're like, "Oh, no way, that's so cool! We got a couple vegans in there as well," and I let them know about this.
Nice.
They're all excited.
Okay.
So
Cool,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, I feel like we can do it one more time a little bit later on and talking more. Thank you so much for
absolutely.
today. And I absolutely grateful to have you on, and I wish you an amazing rest of your day, or maybe night. Yeah, I don't know. What time is in Florida?
I don't even know. It's almost 7 p.m. So evening time. And thanks, Aurora. You are in Hawaii, I believe. So still early in the
Yes.
day for you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day there.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.